Hey everyone, Dan at Ochiko Bushcraft. Welcome to the first annual Battle of the Esbit Stoves. On this very cold morning, roughly 18 degrees, several inches of fresh snow here in the Ochikos, we are going to do our first ever battle between these two Esbit stoves. The Esbit Pocket Stove, which retails for about 15 bucks on Amazon, and the Esbit three-piece cook kit, which retails for about 37 bucks, a little over twice as much on Amazon. I have used both of these. I will continue to use both of these. My pocket stove, which is pretty darkened up, gets used far more often than this one. However, this one does have its place. So I'm going to give you my opinion on advantages and disadvantages of each. We're going to boil some water, hopefully, before it turns to solid ice in my water bottle here. And just kind of compare the two. So real quick, your Esbit pocket stove basically comes like this in a little cardboard box along with 6 of these tinder tabs, again for about 15 bucks. And what I do, and I'm going to do the same thing on this one, this is a little tip for you guys, is I always have a piece of tin foil, this one's been used, inside, and I set my cubes on top of the tin foil. That keeps the bottom of this from getting all gooped up and from burning through eventually over time, rusting and wearing out. It just makes it a lot easier, and I think it may even help to reflect a little more heat back up towards your cup. And the 3-piece cook set comes with a little net pouch, which holds the whole set. So your lid, your cup, nice handles on it. Measurements on the side for 8, 12, and 16 ounce. And another little pouch, which will have the stove in it. I'll get that out for you guys. And I have quite a few Esbit tabs stuffed down in there. I can't remember how many this kit comes with, but it tells you right on Amazon when you pull it up. It may be the same. So again, let me set this up here. I've got my piece of tin foil inside. I'll face that towards you for now. And when I cook, I set my tin foil, see, inside. I'm going to turn this around towards me, and I put my cubes on top. So to make this about as equal as I can, I have to say when I'm out here and I'm cooking, I use my little round pot from Snow Peak, which I just recently did a video on, if you want to check that out if you haven't seen it. That would be an unfair advantage over this one because this one is deeper. The other one being bigger round and shallower would boil faster. So to make it fairly equal, I'm going to grab my Pathfinder cup, and which is a little bit taller than this, but about the same diameter. We'll put 1.5 cups of water in each, set them up here, and boil them. And I did not bring the lid for my Pathfinder cup, which I should have, because that'll make it boil faster. So we'll have to leave this one uncovered to make it a fair contest. So let's, disadvantages and advantages to each. I like the pocket stove because it just doesn't weigh anything and it doesn't take up any room. You put 4 of your tinder tabs or cubes inside here, fold it up, put it in a pocket, put it in a pouch, just goes anywhere, and it's adjustable for different size cups. So like fold it in like it is there is how we're going to have to use it for the Pathfinder cup. The other setup, obviously takes a lot more room up in the pack. You know, it still doesn't weigh much, but it does weigh more. And costs more than twice as much. You're limited to, now if you're not going to use this and you want to carry another pot and put it on here, you can. But if you're going to use this, you're limited to about 16 ounces of water. Otherwise, you end up having to get another pot, which is another expense, which takes up more room. So that would be disadvantage. Advantage to this one is kind of the opposite of what I just said. You've got a nice little cup as part of the set, which cleans up really, really easy. This is one of the easiest cleaning little cups that I have ever used. I mean, when you're done, there isn't flames coming up around the side or anything. I got a little black on the bottom. I wipe it off with a handy wipe and put it away completely clean. So there's less mess, there's less fuss. So each has their place, each has their advantages, each has their disadvantages. We're going to put them head to head on cooking time. So let's set these up. I'll turn this towards you for now. Here's the other thing. In weather like this, it gets out here below freezing, you will not boil water on 1 cube. It just will not happen. In the summertime, on a nice warm sunny day and my water is already warm, fine. But my water is getting colder by the second, probably well on its way to turning to ice. Again, it's no warmer than 18 degrees, and that was out in the sun, so I'm probably pushing about 13 in the shade. So what I do in cold weather is I always lay 2 cubes in there side by side. So that's what I'm going to do. We're going to set everything up. I have a lighter down my shirt next to my stomach under all my clothing, getting warm right now, because you can't light these Worth beans with a ferro rod sitting inside there without making a bunch of powder to catch a spark. So they're much easier to light with a lighter, and your lighter's not going to burn in this weather unless you have it warmed next to your body. So I've had it warming next to my body for a little while now. Hopefully it'll be just fine. If not, I guess you won't be watching this video because I won't have a way to light these. My wind waterproof matches work well though. So I want to make sure you guys see how I'm doing this. I'm going to make this equal. The only difference is going to be I can't light them simultaneous. So as far as timing to see which one brings water to a boil the fastest, that's going to kind of be up to you guys to subtract the difference between lighting them. Shouldn't be more than 10 seconds. Okay, so that's how I set these up. 2 tabs side by side. Notice they're not laying down flat, but they're on their sides, which brings the flame closer to the cup. So 2 of them burning side by side like that usually gets me a boil out here if I'm boiling just a cup of water fairly quickly. So I'm going to turn that towards me. Set that up here for now. I'm going to run grab my Pathfinder cup. I got it hanging from a tree in my pack. We'll put about 12 ounces, a cup and a half of water in each. The reason being is that is about the amount I use in most of my mountain house meals, which I have out here quite often. And we'll see who boils faster. I've never done this. We'll find out. The other thing I do, I usually don't cook up on a stump like this. If there's any kind of wind at all, I will put like a rock on each side to keep air from blowing the flames out away from the cup. Just helps it boil faster. So Pathfinder cup, pretty close to the same diameter. Measurements on this start at 16. Measurements on this one start at 8. So I'm going to measure in this one port in here and measure again. And that way they will be exactly equal So okay, there's water for this one, and water for this one. I want them exactly the same, as close as I can get. That should work. I set that off to the side here for a minute. Okay. Let me pause you guys while I get my lighter out, and then the second we come back, I'm going to light these as quickly as possible. So I'll set both these out of my way and get them up here as quick as I can. Well, yeah, I'm going to pause you guys. I'm going to have to dig that lighter out. Okay, here we go. Get these burning as fast as I can. Okay, that one is lit and burning. And that one is lit and burning. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna make sure. I think only one tab is burning on this one. Okay, both are burning now. So here we go. You guys want to start your clocks? Wiping the snow off the bottom of the cups. Here we go. Number 1, number 2. And the race is on. So let's check my own time here. Well, that's perfect. I have right on the very top of the hour with 0 seconds. That couldn't have worked out any better. So it's just a matter of waiting. If it's gonna take too long and I have to pause you guys, I'll give you the exact count, but I think we ought to just go ahead and let them burn for a couple minutes, and if you want to fast forward, you can. Again, what I should have done, and it would have made both boil faster, is brought my lid for the Pathfinder cup so that I could put a lid on each. That would definitely make them boil faster than what they're going to now. My fault on that. Well, the water's not turned into ice yet. Okay. Well, let's just see how we're doing here. If we have any reaction at all. Each cup has about maybe just a hair under 12 ounces in each. As I fill it just below the line. But I pretty close to about what I put in a Mountain House meal. I got my reflective pad down here that I'm kneeling on. If I wasn't on that, boy, I'd freeze. So I'm gonna get my gloves back on while we're waiting. And yeah, you guys can see, I've got the opening on the one, but I know you can still see the flames through the vents there. So 2 tinder cubes burning in each one, 12 ounces of water. Cups are the same diameter, roughly. I mean, so close you can't tell. And no steaming, no bubbling as of yet on either one. We're just stuck waiting. But so the advantage and disadvantage to each, another one I had mentioned. So like I said, this is just so compact you can put it anywhere. You can put it in the smallest pouch, the pocket kit, and carry your cubes right inside it, and it doesn't take up any extra room. And because it's adjustable, you can do a cup like this. You can fold it all the way out and do a bigger pan. It's my favorite. I really like it. But then this has advantages too, in that if the only thing I want to do is mountain house meals and nothing else, which sometimes you're on a hike or perhaps a get home bag where you don't want to cook bushcraft stew or anything, this is probably a little better setup because you've got one cup to deal with, one pouch to deal with, and no extra cups, pots, pans, or anything to clean up. You wipe the bottom of this off, put it away, and you're good to go. So I'm going to move this one over a little because there's a breeze coming through on this side. I'm just going to block that. This one is steaming really, really good. And the other one is actually starting to bubble up. So I think what I will do, as soon as one starts to bubble, I will go ahead and lift you guys up over the top so that you can see it. So right now, how long's it been? Okay, we are at 4 minutes and 8 seconds since I since I put the cups on. 4 minutes and 8 seconds. This one is starting to bubble. That's kind of surprising. I actually thought that this one would boil faster, but it is not. We're bubbling. This is going to be kind of interesting. I want to do my very best for you guys to see this. Let's turn you around. Let's get right up here on the top. You see in there? This one is bubbling. This one, and I know the lighting is not great. I'm gonna come around this side and see if we can do any better. So this one on the right is starting to boil. The one on the left, the Esbit cook set, and I know again the lighting is not as good, the cup is darker, but it is not boiling yet. The other one is starting to boil very, very lightly. Well, I'm just going to hold you guys here for a minute. Now we're starting to bubble just a little tiny bit on the one on the left. I don't know if it's going to show, and I apologize, because the one on the left is now boiling and the one on the right is boiling. So we have a boil in both. So it's almost simultaneous. There, can you see that? We got a good hard boil in that one right now. We got a good hard boil in this one. I'll try one other angle here. There you can see that one's just boiling away. And here's the cup, just boiling away. So both of them are at a full rolling hard boil in about 6 minutes. All right, I'm gonna get rid of these. Wow, so that's a nice hot steaming cup of boiling water. And that's a nice hot steaming cup of boiling water. And I'm gonna pause you guys while I grab a couple sticks and I can lower these down into the snow rather than them sitting here burning. Okay, there it is, guys. First annual Battle of the Esbit Stoves concluded. And what's amazing is on boiling time, it was almost a draw. The Pathfinder cup on top of the Esbit pocket stove started to bubble just a little bit before this one. I think it might have been a 30-second difference. But then when this one started to boil, it went into a rolling boil at the same time as this one did. So it was like this one was bubbling first, and then this one started to bubble, but then turn into a rolling boil. And at the same exact time, this one turned into a rolling boil. So as far as coming to a rolling boil, the time was identical. We came in at about 6 minutes, and had I had the lid on each one, I think we could have done it in 5. I've done it in 3 minutes by putting rocks on each side of the pocket stove, putting a rock on each side, putting the lid on, and trapping all of the heat in there using 2 tabs, my tin foil. I've got a boil in 3 minutes, and that's pretty darn fast using one of these. 3 minutes, pour it in my Mountain House mill, let it sit, stir it up. I got lunch, and I'm good to go. And that's what's cool about these things. So really, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. The whole thing, in my opinion, is pretty much a draw. I like this because it doesn't take up as much room as this. That's why this is my choice. This is already underneath my canteen cup. It's going to the woods with me no matter what, because if I want to drink hot cocoa on a day like this, or I want to drink Goudarade, get yourself some Goudarade. If I want to drink Gatorade or Emergency, which I carry in my pack, then I always have this cup along to mix it up. So it's already along. This takes up no space. It'll fit in the outside pocket on my water bottle holder. It'll fit in a compass pouch. It'll fit in a pants pocket. It'll fit anywhere. And as you just saw, there's no advantage to this one over this one in time. So that's why this is my personal favorite. On the other hand, if I was going to throw one of these into a get home bag, the only thing I'm going to have, the only time I'm going to stop and deal with this stuff, the only time I'm going to do anything with it is if I end up having to stop and set up a camp for the night because I can't make it home before dark. All I want to do is boil some water, get it into a freeze-dried meal, get my calories, get warm, get sleep, get up and start hiking again. I would probably choose this because I've only got 1 cup, so I've got less weight, I've got less things to deal with. And the bottom of this, I just wiped it off in the snow, but the bottom of this, with a couple quick wipes, will clean up easier than this or any other pot. So that's all my opinion, my differences. This is what I carry in my bushcraft kit, this setup here. It's what I carry when I'm out here in the woods in a survival kit and whatnot. This is what I cook meals on all the time. I have my pot besides this so I can have something to drink, put my round pot on here, cook stews or soups or whatever else I want. It doesn't have to be a Mountain House meal. On the other hand, for a get home bag or maybe even a bug out bag, this is probably what I would choose so that I could do a quick boil, a super quick cleanup, get calories, and get back going again to where I need to go. Hope you enjoyed this, guys. Sorry I can't tell you to get this one over this one or this one over this one. I would say it's personal choice, and our first annual battle, both boiling at the same time, we're going to have to call it a draw. Thanks for watching Ochiko Bushcraft. Take care.